Hi friends, my name is Rebecca. I am an indie author of new adult fantasy, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I create videos to chronicle my journey as an indie author and to discuss all things writing. So if that sounds like your kind of thing, I'd love it if you could subscribe and follow along with me. Today's book is the 8th book in the Pixie Chronicles, and it is titled 7. Let's jump right in with what 7 is about. 7 is a retelling of the 7 Ravens. I'm still a bit in the midst of researching the original story, but from what I've worked out so far, this is probably going to be another one of my looser reimaginings. I'm actually incredibly excited for this story, and the more I talk about it, I'm sure you'll quickly see why. I've known I've wanted to write a book with this sort of premise for a while now, so I was super excited when I discovered there was already a fairy tale in existence I could pull from for further inspiration. First things first, the setting, and if you've been following along with this video series, you're probably going to instantly understand why I'm so excited to write this book. 7 is set in Tresal, which is the same country as Crucible. And as a quick reminder, Tresal is heavily inspired by Mexico, but I do know it will take place in a very different part of the country from Crucible. Whereas Crucible was primarily set in both the desert and the jungle, I know that I really want to set 7 in a more swampy sort of area. No lie, a huge portion of my inspiration for this book came to me while I was riding the Pirates of the Caribbean ride in Disneyland with my husband, so I'm completely embracing that vibe. That being said, I still want to include a more authentic Mexican feel for the book as well, so it'll be interesting trying to mesh the two. Now on to my favorite part, the characters. If you've watched this whole video series, it's probably no surprise that the main character for 7 is none other than Prince Tulio. He's the only character in the Pixie Chronicles to serve as a major role in 3 different books, and this book is finally his turn to take the lead. As a reminder, he was first introduced in Crucible and then later featured in Red, so if you're interested in learning more about those books, I will have links to their videos down below. 7 takes place after the events of both those books, so he is a few years older now. Crucible gives a pretty good introduction to Tulio's character, and there's not much more I can say for how he acts in 7 without giving spoilers for Crucible. His personality and outlook on life honestly doesn't really change much, rather everything is way more intensified. I described Tulio in Crucible as overwhelmed and violent, and all those things are still true. He remains distant from others and has a difficult time coping with his emotions. Tulio struggles with proving himself as a capable leader, and his insecurity in that area often manifests in unhealthy and dangerous behaviors. Other major characters you may also remember from Crucible are Tin and Balthazar. Again, you can learn more about them from my video on Crucible, which I will have linked. Of the two, I would say that Tin has changed the most from his first introduction, but again, spoilers, so sorry. But there are a few new characters I can introduce you to. First up is this lovely lady who sadly does not have an official name yet. I've been calling her Charlotte temporarily, but I know that's not going to be her real name. She is Balthazar's cousin, though she lives in this new part of Tresal we will be visiting in this book. Though she is not a member of the military, she is a scientist, of sorts. She has a very inquisitive mind and is deeply passionate about protecting and preserving wildlife. She is naturally bubbly and upbeat, though she sometimes has a difficult time recognizing the emotions of others around her. Naturally fearless, she often forgets to think her actions completely through and has a tendency of getting in over her head. She is tall with a slender build. She has dark black hair, dark brown skin, and hazel eyes. And after her, we also have Maria. I didn't mention her in Crucible, but she's actually first introduced in that book, but she plays a much larger role in 7. Maria is quiet, but make no mistake, she is extremely observant and aware of the people around her. Soft-spoken and gentle, she exudes a genuine kindness that many often mistake for weakness. Maria is focused and driven with a fierce determination that is not easily broken. She is susceptible to an overinflated sense of self-importance and often views herself as more intelligent than those around her. Maria is petite with a slender build. She has pale skin with light brown eyes and black hair. So even though the cast seems limited right now, there are definitely going to be a lot more important characters for this book when it's all said and done. If you're familiar with the story of the 7 Ravens, you might guess that Tulio's 7 older sisters play an important role, and they absolutely do. But 7 is a lot of characters to juggle, so I'm still figuring out the pecking order of who gets the most screen time. As for what the book is about, sadly, once again, I honestly just don't have enough to really give you a proper summary. I can say I am following along with the 7 Ravens premise in that Tulio's 7 sisters have been taken, and he must go on a perilous journey in order to find them, but that's about it. Because Tulio is one of my favorite characters, I am constantly inspired by scenes and ideas I want to include, but I don't have any sort of official outline created just yet. I know I should at least get everything in my head written down so I don't forget anything, but I don't have any plans yet on when I'm going to sit down and create an official outline, which leads me into my final section, the status of the book. I admit, because I do really love the concept of this story so much, I am tempted to get started on it sooner rather than later. But this is the second to last book in the series. I have plenty of other things to work on first, plus some events might change a bit by the time the events of this story take place. So for right now, I am making myself wait, though I can't promise how much longer I can hold out. So that's it from me today. There is only one book left in this series, and if you have made it this far, you are absolutely amazing, and I really hope you've been enjoying it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again with another video very soon. Bye!